Just want to say before we start, fuck TL, fuck Marmite. All
Oh
right, we
my
can go.
god. Oh god.
Hey guys, welcome to Whisktakers. My name is Leuven, and today's video is a little different. As you can probably tell by the title, we're going to discuss some of the issues with Cookie Run Kingdom and how we feel about it. So a while ago, I asked some members of our community on Discord to submit some complaints they have on the issues they're having with playing CRK, just to gather them and see what people think. Then, I've invited some members of Whisktakers to sit down together and have a chat of the four main topics I've gathered from the Ask Box.
Sure,
So,
of course.
please state your name for the record.
Shall we do it by admin status and then us non-admin plebs can speak after?
Alright, hi. My name is Leuven, and I'm the person that's been doing all these little videos. You probably know me, and I am a dolphin.
I'm Carthage. I am currently the number 45 ranked PvP player. I did a lot for it. I grinded for it, and I am currently a somewhat between a whale and a semi-large overfed kraken. Thank you.
Hey guys, my name is 1310 and I'm kind of like an anchovies in the sea of whales. Anchovies as in buy money pass and maybe sometimes like guarantee epic packs, but yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Aksyong. I don't think I'm not a whale, but I spend on impulse. I don't really excel at the game. I just throw cash at the game and make it work. And I think this game needs a lot of fixing if they want to expect people to continuously throw cash at the game.
I'm Zen. I'm one of the founders of WT Whisktakers, what you want to know it as. And I'd say I'm a shrimp. I don't really spend as much as the other whales in the guild, but I don't spend as little as the anchovies.
If you're interested in listening to the full discussion, I'll be putting a link card up here to our Whale Talk podcast pilot episode. You'll pretty much see that we're a laid-back bunch, and we just love the game and want to talk about it. So a quick disclaimer. All opinions stated in this video is of my own and of the respective parties. We have no intentions of making this into a hate video, and we are not affiliated with any third parties, nor are we affiliated with DevSysers or their subsidiaries. This video is just meant to be an expression of our opinions, and maybe as a bit of criticism. Before we start, just want to say a quick thank you to our Discord community for always supporting us and keeping such a welcoming vibe for everyone. If you'd like to join our Discord server, feel free to click the link below. We have members of Whisktakers and other guests ready to help you if you need any advice on the game. With that said, let's jump straight into the first point. My only complaint is the game crashes too much, and when it does, especially in Arena, I get a result of defeat, even though I won the battle. Not to mention, the trophies we lose are pretty high, with the max being 8 trophies. If you're a longtime player, you'll probably experience many crashes and bugs the game has. Now, apps being unstable is okay, coding is hard, but not to the extent that CRK is. You have all these updates that just keep making the game worse, as if the company never had anyone to test these updates before they are released.
If let's say there is a lag, then there is a chance for the frame to skip and it will jump your queue and skip to the next cookie. So in story mode or dark modes, in basically in any kinds of non-competitive modes, that's fine. But when it comes into arena, it's kind of a pain in the ass when you see that you're supposed to have this cookie going next, and because there is a slight lag, you can see it on your screen, and it skips that turn and causing you to lose the fight. I think that's just really peaceful optimization on their end.
If you go in the game right now, and you look at the community notice, there's always this 2 white boxes. It's like, come on, you guys are making so much goddamn money. How is it that your damn game cannot afford to get people to make the most basic of interface fixes?
The worst part is that there is virtually no support for all these incompatibility issues, and people have been facing the same problem ever since launch, where with each update, or each maintenance, they come back and suddenly they can't play the game anymore, because they can't download it off of their app stores.
It just blows my mind that rather than try to optimize their game and fix the fundamental problems, they've just chose to just cancel all support because A, it was too hard, or B, they don't know how to. And that's what it, and B is the more worrying point, because if they don't know how to optimize their game, that's why they're not finding errors in the code. That's why they're not finding errors before they send it to production.
To put things into perspective, CRK is a 2D game, where pretty much everything you do is client-side. There's no real-time data being uploaded into the server as you play, and you shouldn't have this many issues playing a simple game where pretty much everything is on auto mode. Other graphic-heavy mobile games don't face the same issue with so much lag and crashing, but it's such a big problem here. Even if you look at Cookie Run Oven Break, which, by the way, has many real-time features and processes quite a lot of graphics at once, it is a huge game. There's barely any frame lag or crashing. When you want to minimize such problems and use an Android emulator on PC to get a better gaming experience, you get hit with a wall where the company will pretty much try to screw you over by playing their game like that.
It wouldn't be so egregious that they don't support multiple devices, but the fact that I think most of us, some of us in the guild use BlueStacks or Nox or any Android emulator, and recently, and I think we all can say throughout the 3 months that this game's been released, they've been slowly shutting down emulator support, and people are having to go doing increasingly more obscure ways of getting their emulators to work just to play this game.
Yeah.
And if you look at it from if you look at Death Sisters, I'm not sure if most people, our audience plays Cookie Run Oven Break, but that game is on the top level of gameplay. We're talking about the best player, Grand Champions League, that sort of thing. The use of an emulator is encouraged. It is the only way you're getting some of those frame perfect jumps. And then so we have on one side we have this stance that says, please use an emulator. This is how you win. And then conversely, back at Kingdom, why is it that emulators are not supported? What's the rationale? It's just such a confusing dynamic between two titles of the same franchise. I just can't get my head around this as well.
Death Sisters is effectively trying to keep their players out for no reason, and despite the many feedbacks from English and Korean communities, nothing has been done. Back in February, just a month after the game's release, we get a huge middle finger from the community manager, where basically, if you get that incompatibility message, then congratulations, you'll not be able to play ever again, unless you get a new device. It's honestly so disheartening that they don't even bother to keep these players, refusing to properly address it, only to sweep it all under the rug. So, will the game get stable? Maybe, maybe not. We can excuse it as one of those early release issues, but truth be told, these are issues that shouldn't be here in the first place. They have the manpower and resources to be able to take their entire game and build it back from the ground up, and release a major patch during an update. It would give us players a much better experience, but also just allow for longevity towards the game. Let's move on to the next one. I want to talk about the game progression. It's actually so bad, especially when the more you progress, the lesser you get. Sure, you want to let lower players get to this point too, but it makes zero sense to bottleneck one single production, bakery for example, and when you get over the bottleneck, all you get is like a few thousand coins for the wishes, and a +4 per hour increase on cookie houses. They clearly never playtested the game, and that QL update, it feels more like PR. Ah yes, the pains of progression. Progression is meant to make it so that you're improving your team much faster, and at the rate where you can keep up with the content. It's meant to be so that you hit a point where you can be much more laid back about trying to keep up, that you can start messing around with different cookies and team comps to test things out. Unfortunately, it's not the case for CRK. With every step of progression you make, it only becomes worse in value. You're not getting enough value for the cost you put in, especially when you look at how long it takes for certain items to be made. This is made especially bad when kingdom progression is tied to your team progression in every way, especially when cookie houses are the main source of an EXP jelly to level your cookies up. I mention this because when you're upgrading your houses from level 10 to level 11, after upgrading your castle to level 13, you only get 4 extra jellies per hour.
Why is it that with so much more resources needed for the upgrades, you only get such a small amount in return? There's also no increase in the time cap, and it's honestly such a low return value for what you get.
In order for you to even progress in the arena, because arena is still part of the game, you will not have sufficient experience to bring the cookie to the level that you need in order to make it excel in arena, and you will not have the experience because your houses will definitely not produce sufficient XP jellies for you. And if let's say you think that it's okay, I'm just gonna chill out this season and next season this guy is gonna be 60 and he's gonna be game breaking, fat hole, because I'm pretty sure the next cookie is gonna be more game breaking than Black Raisin.
If you're an early day player, you may recall one of those guys that was floating around telling you to stay at a certain castle level purely because progression-wise, it would merely make you suffer with all these micromanagement and making coins was going to be a pain. Fast forward to now, it's become worse. So enjoy struggling to even progress if you were to accidentally upgrade a building even if you don't need to, and be underprepared for the resources you will need for the item the building produces. It invokes fear towards players when you know that you can't upgrade or else you're screwed over. But if you don't upgrade, you're also not progressing. It leaves you in a very tough position and makes it hard to decide if you want to enjoy it or take it slow.
So basically, there was like this so-called cookie run kingdom tips where by they say don't like don't
I
level your
already know where
castle.
this
Holy
conversation is
shit.
going.
Yeah, so basically the tips told you guys like don't level your castle because you're gonna get like more train wrecks where you just stop you will just not get like progression done because number one is that you're getting production is way too long and you're just not going to get the items, and there's also like where the wish tree will also ask you for these items and you will not be able to give them. So that's where the tips come in, and they said you just stop like maybe at castle 10, I believe. So that's why I'm just still stuck at 11 for now, and I'm just honestly just don't like just really afraid of like just leveling up my castle.
You need some of the highest time-consuming buildings to be built. The Castella takes 3 hours as base to make one. In a day, you can only make 8 Castellas, providing you have 8 butters and 8 omurices, which again, butters, you can only make 10 of those in a day. You can only make 20 omurices. You see where I'm going with this? The timing is so impossible to keep up with if you're not prepared. But the issue that happens is you can build a jewelry salon without upgrading any other building once you reach Castle 11. So a lot of new players didn't, I guess, a lot of people that weren't social media, I guess, relevant, like present, I guess, would say. They weren't looking at tips channels, they weren't looking at anyone to advise them. So they built the salon without having 4 or 5 necessary ingredients to build.
With the release of Castle Level 15, there has been so many questions on why is it even released in the first place. On top of all the level up requirements, you will also need to 3-star 1031 Dark Mode, which, by the way, is the hardest stage in the game by far. 99% of the player base won't even reach there by the time the next updates roll around, purely because getting to Dark Mode Episode 10 is already hard enough with the current cookie level cap.
Also, there's in our guild, Whisktakers, there's only one person who has even gotten the right to stand in front of Dark Mode 31, and
God.
he hasn't beaten it. And this guy has
A full
this
60
guy's a
team.
very big spender. He's got Scroll 12. He's got pretty much every cookie max. His pure vanilla cookies at 4-star, I believe. Oh, by the way, also, and he can't beat it. He's not getting Castle 15. So
Man.
what chance
If
does
he's not bidding it, nobody is bidding it.
yeah, like
all these level spikes just to quote unquote stagger the content. And this isn't content. You cannot progress both ways, whether it be your kingdom level, or in your story mode, or even your cookies. Just because everything is locked behind a level spike, where unless you pay to win, you're not progressing anytime soon.
There's one particular interaction I've had with the community manager, Alyssa, that I'll always remember. And it was when someone said to her, why is Dark Mode 7 so hard? Will there ever be stage nerfs? And her reply, very snarky, quote for quote, was, lol, no. Levels power spikes are designed to prolong the longevity of the game in between updates. And that's quote unquote. And since then, she's edited and deleted the comment from the main Discord. What that says to me, these spikes are fully intended. Like, everyone from free to play to pay to win has experienced 725 dark mode, normal mode. At some point, that level has kicked all of our asses.
Yep.
And it's by design that one of the bosses, it just goes psycho mode after 50% health and wipes you. Obviously, we've learned how to overcome it. We've beaten it many times now. There's still players who struggle on that stage. And this is extrapolated up until Dark Mode Land 9, Land 10. The stuff I've seen that are just improbable at the moment for people to conquer, because it's not what you have, the tools that we have now are impossible to beat what's in front of us. So we just don't play the content.
Is there really a use for all these level spikes? No. Because you either get stuck at a stage and become bored of it, or you throw cash to finish it and get bored of it again. There is a severe lack of content management, and throwing level spikes is a very lousy attempt at staggering content. Enough of this. Let's move on to the next one. Being free to play, Arena seems so out of the question without the new metas and EXP jellies that new players can have. Please, we need to level up another cookie? Is Arena supposed to be for whales and spenders primarily? I think most of the audiences watching are free-to-players and like spenders, so you guys will understand the pain of climbing Arena rankings while the sea is so full of these dolphins and whales. There is virtually zero chance of a non-spending player to make Masters and get the 15,000 crystals reward, all because of how tough it is to even compete with these spending players who are in that gap.
I'm only hitting Master 3 right now, and it's already like I'm just stuck here forever to maybe the next season that Diamond 3, sorry. Then probably the next season that I have to continue climbing, and it's probably just going to be like Diamond 3 again. So most likely I'm not going to get like the Master Landmark, which is kind of sad since season 1 because I didn't really spend that much. But yeah, it's just stuck right here.
With every update, it gets progressively worse for free-to-players because that gap just gets wider and wider. As of recording this video, there is an ongoing quote-unquote event where you get bonuses for buying packages. On top of all of that, you have also what is by far the worst ever update on packages, where during the event period, EXP packages have an increased cap, which makes it so that every week, if you were to buy every single EXP package, you can bring a level 50 cookie straight to max level. This is honestly disgusting because you have first aid players who, by the way, pre-level cap update, haven't even gotten a full 50 team yet. And now you're allowing spenders to get so much further ahead of free-to-players.
I think one of the things about the experience gap that I felt like DevSys really did something wrong, and I felt that it's really extremely bad. It's when they increase the level cap and they increase the number of experience pack you can purchase, because that's blatantly telling you, hey, suck it up, buy my packages or suffer.
Yeah.
Slimy.
Then to make
Very
it
slimy.
worse, we know for a fact that we get 2 cookies every month. At least that's what the trend is showing. We get 2
3
cookies
if it's
every
an
month.
ancient.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well, that's not always, I hope.
Yeah, I
but
mean,
we
You aren't allowing free-to-players to even have a chance of competing with the whales. And free-to-players have no chance of ever catching up because of all these resources are made so scarce by design. No masters, no crystals. No crystals, no gacha pools. No gacha pools? Well, you're fucked. Enjoy trying to pull for the feature banner cookies when you get less than 300 pulls per month. Say you're a lucky free-to-player hitting masters and is in a top 1% guild. That's 30,000 crystals there, and maybe 12,000 extra from all the events. You're barely getting enough to hit the Epic's pity net, and you won't even have enough to start up the units unless you're extremely lucky. Yes, you're supposed to get the lead if you're spending in a game, and that is fine. But the way that they're constantly making these decisions
just to milk the spenders and convert the free-to-players is extremely slimy. Take for example the event for Pure Vanilla. To hit pity on Nether Gacha, you will need to pull 250 times. As a free-to-player, you will only get around 210 pulls as of recording this video. To hit pity, you will need to buy, guess what? One single package that costs $45.
That's what's so slimy about it, because the event, all the little toppings, all the little updates they've given, a free-to-play player will be, I guarantee once we get to the last day, we can get someone to do the exact math. They're going to be the exact one package away from buying it. I bet it'll be the Lights of Truth package, the one that's £44 in the UK. Like, I think it's $45 already, but and get this, sliminess wise, it ends one day before the PV package ends. The PV before Never Gacha ends. Just to throw that out there as well, the timing ends just right before the Never Gacha ends, just to put a bit more FOMO and pressure on the player to buy.
By constantly discouraging your free-to-players and making them feel that they have to spend in order to progress, you're essentially killing off a majority of your player base, who, by the way, are also minors, who just want to play the game and collect the cookies. This is a cookie game that is clearly also targeted towards children. And these questionable practices really makes me frustrated, because first, you're making the older audiences angry because they can't really progress unless they spend. Then you have these children who don't know any better, and might just mindlessly ask their parents to spend for them. I also like to emphasize that no one, not even whales, are happy about package cap increases. This brings no content, and when you whale, you want to whale for something that gives you solid returns. When there is no competition from non-whales, why do whales want to bother with hitting top ranks? If you kill off your player base just like that, expect these whales to just leave too, because they just don't have a reason to spend anymore. Let's move on to the last point. Remember when they increased the package cap when we were all fuming over the crashes and mates? We also never got a community manager that actually acknowledged anything, and the devs just never listened to us. So I actually remember this, and it was during Kumiho's release when they suddenly just increased the cap for packages. This was during the height of all these issues with the game, and while nothing has been addressed at all, the game decides to just push out all these packages, which solves nothing. We have been giving so much feedback in the feedback channel, but there was zero acknowledgement. And instead of getting any kind of message saying, hey, we know this, and we're working on it, the response was to just milk the players for money. Their constant bad decisions and inability to actually listen to the community, regardless of the regions, is so frustrating. You know that all these issues we mentioned are also experienced by both the English and Korean communities, yet no action was taken. As of recording this, today, on the 10th of May, we are waiting for the next cookie release, but we have zero info because Dev Sisters are always so against leaks that they've now tightened all encryption in the game. There has been zero excitement and only burnout from doing the same thing over and over again within a game.
There's nothing to get excited about at the moment, which is just painful to say out loud, because I've been doing the same thing for weeks now. You know, the guild battles are boring now. Like, I have nothing that I'm doing differently than I was 3 weeks ago. Hoarding XP every day, putting it into another cookie, doing my arena battles from the tickets I've saved up every hour, doing my stamina runs just to do toppings because I have no interest in dark mode. You know, there's a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I'm not doing anything different. I'm playing the exact same way I was playing, as if no update happened, which is crazy.
Pretty much. Why is there no excitement being built? Why are we forced to continue living with all these issues that are going unanswered? This is, once again, driving away your player base. I'd like to highlight an event that only Koreans would know, and it happened during the Guild Battle update, where the update was pushed back by a couple of days. Koreans were so sick of it that they started a riot, where they essentially flooded the official forum with this. This is what I call the laying down meme. And essentially, Koreans were sick and tired of their feedback not getting a response too. This just goes to show how little the devs care and how the community managers barely even do their job. Because they're not actually bridging the gap between the players and devs. It feels like they're just there for the sake of it, and to act as an auto-update webhook for the social media announcements. It all ties back to all these issues too. All the bugs, bad progression, and everything. Nothing so far has been properly addressed. Sure, a few things here and there, but nothing that people actually care about is being fixed.
All these changes, all these mistakes, like all these handouts that we've been given, like stuff like the shroom one that no one really even knew, no one even paid attention to.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just them covering their asses if it ever arose, and they were just like, nah, just in case, let's just satisfy the community with 5,000 crystals.
The 30-30 maintenance is something I will always hold over the game purely because it's a reminder that with every update that comes, you're expecting to have an extension on the maintenance, and you're expecting even more crashes and incompatibility reports. This has become such a rampant running gag, and it's very disheartening to know that there is still so many core issues that have yet to be addressed or fixed. I mean, you can just look straight at these white boxes that have been there for so long and yet to be fixed as well. They aren't listening, and somehow, we just have to live with that. So, what did we learn today? Well, I can honestly say we all just want the game to get better. We love the game, we truly do. Whisktakers has been one of the best communities that's grown ever since the guild's inception, and it serves to make us love the game even more. We don't want the game to go down a path that would just make it unplayable, and we want to continue enjoying it with the rest of the community. But it makes it extremely hard to do so when the devs are constantly making all of these decisions. We really hope that this will somehow reach the ears of the devs, but most importantly, we hope that this video has brought you guys some comfort knowing that we all feel the same way and are looking for a way to get the devs to fix this. If you would like to join our community, feel free to check out the Discord server down in the description. If you would like to listen to more of this discussion, you can click the link on the card right here. Leave a comment down below and let us know what you think. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to give us a like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.